What is up, Score fam? We are back today with another video. We're going to be going over how the game has changed, especially with these new expansions coming out. We're going to be focusing and talking about how good the expansions are, and then, of course, how good the new Unison cards are and how they'll impact the way we play the game. So let's go ahead and go straight to it. Let's go to the most controversial of the two leaders, which, of course, is Vegeta. The reason why it's so controversial, people don't necessarily know how to grade the card. A lot of people are just assuming that it's bad on its face. And when you look at the front side, very vanilla. When this card attacks, draw one card, but the awakened effect is pretty strong. When your life is 4 or less, or your opponent has 3 or more energy, and you have a red Unison card in play with a specified cost of 2, you may draw 2 cards, choose cards in your life, and add them to your hand until you have 6 life left, and flip this card over. So why is this good? So number one, very strong if you're going second. If you're going second, and your opponent plays their 3rd energy for the turn, you already have your Unison card in play. You can awaken on their turn, or you can wait to awaken on your turn when they're on the play. When they're on the play, and then when you're on the play, then of course you just focus your game a little bit differently, focusing on building some advantage, waiting until they get their 3rd energy, make sure you maintain a decent life total, and then that way you get the early awaken effect anyway, which is very strong. Then your awaken side, auto when this card attacks, draw 1 card, and then when this card's power is decreased by a skill, it gains dual attack for the turn. What I like about this is that this has perfect synergy with your Unison card and really kind of forces you into wanting to play your Unison card, which overall the Unison is actually very strong. It first has an auto when your leader card's power is decreased by a skill, it gets plus 10,000 for the turn. So think about that with your awaken ability. You can dual attack once your power is decreased. So you get -5 from one of the effects of Go Tanks, add 10,000 power to the leader, so the leader's a 20k dual attacker. Very powerful. Then has a +1. Activate main, choose 1 card in your life, add it to your hand, then choose one of your leader cards. It gets -5,000 power for the turn. So, like I said, very simple. You're going to be able to take a card from your life, add it to your hand, which is great. So if you awaken at the 6 or even 5 life, you're getting that extra card. Then give your leader -5,000, so now it's a 20k dual attacker, and then you're off to the races. And then the second ability is actually very strong. Choose one of your leader cards, it gets -5,000 power for the turn, so again, enabling your leader. And then look at your opponent's hand and choose up to 1 multicolor battle card, or a battle card with 10,000 power or less, and then place it in their drop area. So why is this so good? First off, knowledge of your opponent's hand. Being able to structure your turn appropriately and do this first is very strong because it's going to set up your leader. And then also the ability to snipe like any super combo basically is just absurd. That's basically what this ability is saying is -2, make your leader a dual attacker, and then take a super combo out of their hand. So very strong second ability, and I like how they're like easy to access. The +1, of course, is very simple, very straightforward, and then the -2 is just really easy to access, so you can always just do it in a pinch, and then you're gonna be able to gain counters relatively easily. I also like how Unisons, I like that they don't have a defensive combo step because it's kind of helps a rival not be as strong. But the fact that you can use negates, blockers to help kind of make sure the attacks don't hit your Unison so you can keep it alive is really cool too. It kind of introduces like a unique way to play the game, and just Unison cards, depending on how powerful they end up being with the release of Series 10, it's going to be interesting to see how the game changes overall, like whether we just continue to attack Unisons because they're too strong, or if we just ignore them because their effects are kind of innocuous. So I do think Vegeta is good, and I want to provide just like a core shell. This was provided Frisco Falls with the starting point, and then I went ahead and just made some additions as well, and then just made some tweaks, and really just wanted to give you just the core of the deck. So simple, 4 Sensu Bean, 4 Manaka. Very cool. You have a leader that has dual attack, becomes a 20k dual attacker. Why not make him a dual attack double striker for 20k? That seems very strong, so go ahead and play Manaka in this deck. It makes sense to do it. Now, also the fact that you're a red leader gives you access to Beerus Divine Obliterator as your super combo, which means defensively you can use this on top an energy, and then of course Arrival, Cooler, Tyrannical Assault, so that's a double striker on the board. So between your Unison being able to attack, your leader having dual attack, and then you getting a Cooler, you're able to produce 4 attacks per turn just with 2 battle cards in your Unison card. So that's just like absurd. You just have your leader swings, you have Cooler, you have your Unison, and then boom, you have 4 attacks right there. Then, of course, you're playing 4 Hercule Majin Buu Friends Forever. Just be able to take advantage of the defensive combo step as well as the offensive combo step by giving us more bodies that we can play for cheap, and allows us to bounce cards back to our hand. So it just helps us keep replaying cards that we want to use over and over again. We're playing our 4 Unison, of course. We're playing 4 Combo Attack Cooler to be able to bounce the Cooler Tyrannical Assault back to your hand and get a 25k attacker on board. 2 Freeze's Death Embrace, high utility. Being able to use it either offensively or defensively is just very strong. Being able to just take any battle card your opponent's playing, always put it at risk is very good. And then, of course, whenever you're swinging with your leader, who's a 20k dual attacker now, think of you Manaka, your leader. Now it's 20k dual attack, double strike, and then you swing. Let's say your opponent doesn't negate. You can tap word energy, minus them by 10, and then they're in a world of trouble. Next thing, 4 Topo Righteous Aid, one of the best negates in the game. Might as well play it. 4 SSB Kaioken Son Goku Concentrated Destruction. Awesome that your leader gets to use both sides of the card because your leader is red. So you get to be able to have the board wipe, and you have the activate main to be able to kill anything with barrier. And then, of course, your check land. So overall, Vegeta gets to play really good cards, and I think you can come up with a overall strategy that has a lot of synergy with the leader and just allows you to play this like mid-range game that just has like an aggressive slant to it because the leader is so powerful once everything is online and running. This isn't a full 50 cards because I'm pretty certain there's going to be like more cards in the expansion that you're going to want to play. So we kind of left it open-ended as is, so you can kind of just take this and move on. So get to proxying, test it out. I recommend starting your games with your Unison in your opening hand, just so you can just see how powerful it's going to be and how strong it can be when you're testing. And I honestly think that'll change a lot of people's mind about Vegeta. And then, of course, next we're going to talk about the other one. And the question changes to, is Topo absurd? The answer is yes. And the reason why Topo is absurd is the fact that he is yellow. The reason why that is so good is because you get access to the best cards in the game. His front side, vanilla, when this card attacks, draw a card, but then your Awaken effect is when your life is at 4 or less, or you have a Unison card with a specified cost of 2. So different than Vegeta, it doesn't have that restriction of your opponent having 3 energy. You just have to have Unison with specified cost of 2. Then you choose up to 2 your energy, switch them to active mode, then choose card your life, add them to your hand until you have 6 life left. Flip this card over. Basically, whether if you go first or second, more often than not, you're going to be awakening on turn 2. Once you do, you're going to be able to have this absurd effect, which is when you attack, draw a card, and then permanent when you have a yellow Unison card and play with a specified cost of 2. When a player plays a battle card, that player can't play battle cards for the turn. So it's think about a Hat Shack, but way better because your opponent can only play 1 battle card per turn, which just slows the game down dramatically. It's beautiful. So take Topo, already as it is, looking at the leader, very powerful effect. And then now we go into Vegeta Unison of Fury, which this card completely changes the format. So activate main once returned, choose this card or another battle card, switch to rest mode, add a marker to this card. So it doesn't have a +1 ability. It just has this ability on the front side to on the activate main to be able to just give you a counter by switching a card to rest mode. Then you have a -1 activate main. Your opponent can't attack with battle cards with energy cost greater than their current energy until the end of their next turn. So they can't attack with a Raider's War Cry if it's early in the game. They can't attack with any of those like arrival cards that you cheat out early in the game. Nothing. So you're going to be able to, number one, once you awaken, stop your opponent from being able to play multiple battle cards per turn and stop them from attacking with battle cards that are bigger than their energy. That's just wild. The effect already is just absolutely game-breaking. Like I said, we're looking for a new control archetype. This is definitely it. Topo plus Vegeta Unison of Fury is going to be able to make games go long. And like I said, the fact that Topo is yellow is just makes it even more absurd. You get Raider's War Cry, you get Bergamo, you get Zamasu Super Combo, you can play Universe 9 if you want to. In general, just very good. And then the -3 activate main, choose when your opponent's energy, switch to rest mode, then this card gets plus 5,000 power, double strike, and dual attack for the turn. So the Unison card actually becomes a win condition. You can rest one of your opponent's energy, and then now it's a 20k double striker with dual attack. So combine this with the fact of something like, again, Bergamo. Tap one of your opponent's energy. I'll play my Bergamo for 2. I'll then tap 2 more of your energy. I'll tap you out, and then now I'll just swing with my double strike dual attacker. Again, I think that this is immediately going to be impacting the format. Probably automatically going to be one of the better decks as is, and best part is it's not a Surge leader, so that's kind of cool. So we get to kind of get away from the Surge leaders, or the only leader that matters, and now we just have an absurd archetype with Topo and Vegeta Unison of Fury. So I'm really excited about it. And then of course I wanted to give a shell to start out with, not focusing on Universe 9 because I think Universe 9 you've seen a lot with Jiren. There's a lot you can take from that deck and pour it over to Topo and be really successful. So I just wanted to go with just like a basic generic blue yellow shell. As you can see, the deck list is already just absurd. 4 Sinsubin, our 4 Beerus, our 4 Zamasu, 2 Gina Martine, 2 Frost Deadly Poison, 4 Bojack, 2 Champa the Trickster. We're playing counters. We have Hit Deadly Vanguard. We're we're going to stop our opponent from playing battle cards. We're going to stop them from attacking with battle cards that are bigger than their energy. We're going to play battle cards that are better than their cards, and we are going to extend the game as long as we want to. That's the one thing that's kind of crazy about this deck, is this deck really just extends the games as, you know, at will, you know, unless you're playing against another control strategy that's like hoping the game goes long. Even then, their inability to defend themselves through a rival multiple times in a turn kind of messes things up for them. And then, of course, just the fact that you just have access to the best battle cards. Zamasu tapping something, Bergamo locking energy, Bard, you know, Raider's Warcry being able to come in for 2. And then, of course, me, I'm always going to try and jam this card in every single control deck I can. Android 17 turning the tide, so you have a surefire win condition. In general, you just get to build such an advantage with this leader. There's no reason not to play it. I mean, Surge Goku's really good, and I don't... In a vacuum, this leader isn't better than Surge Goku, but with this shell, and then whatever gets else released from the expansion, that hopefully you get something that tutors your Unison, you're going to be awakening on turn 2. You're going to have a 15k leader. Your opponent's going to be only going to be... You're both only going to be able to play 1 battle card per turn. Odds are you're always going to come out ahead. So in general, I do think Topo's absurd. Probably ends up being tier 1 the moment that this expansion drops and everyone starts playing with it. So make sure you start proxying now. Get used to Unisons, and you need, like, test the power level of them. You know, see, you know, how much they extend games. See how much they just impact the overall flow of the game. Like I said, one thing that's really cool is how the Vegeta Unison expansion actually kind of counters the Topo Unison expansion, because the Topo one is trying to stop you from playing battle cards and stop you from attacking the big battle cards, but Vegeta makes it so the leader card and the Unison are kind of like a tandem win condition, which is kind of cool. So it'll be kind of neat to test out the 2 archetypes against each other and see what comes out on the other side. So in general, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed this breakdown. Hopefully you can kind of take this information, use it as you want. Like I said, I do think Topo is just absolutely snap because he's yellow. Being able to play this archetype, being able to play U9, just straight up U11 if you want to, being able to play green, yellow, blue, yellow, red, yellow, whatever you want. I just think it's very good, very powerful. And like I said, don't sleep on Vegeta. I think you're going to be able to build a really strong deck around that leader, really strong mid-range / aggressive deck that's going to be able to steal a lot of games just because of how powerful that leader is going to be once it's awakened. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out the Patreon if you're looking for additional content on a daily basis. Make sure you check out the Twitch streams that we do every Monday through Thursday. And again, thank you so much for everything, especially your support during this time. Stay safe. Okay, thanks. Bye!